So the professor talked about blockchain and AI and made the point that he believes that they will depend on each other to a certain extent, that AI without open data is really hard to do. And our next speaker is Dongyan Wang. If you want to come up. You've got your microphone, right? Did they give you a microphone?
Use the one on the desk.
You're going to use the one on the desk. Cool. And this man runs something called DeepBrain chain, which rhymes, by the way, DeepBrain chain. And he's an expert in this area, and we're going to learn a lot from him. So over to you, Dongyan.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I think Professor Zhang mentioned earlier about the AT&T. It's kind of funny to know the story. After years of changes and billions of dollars, all the things AT&T changed from a consumer perspective, it's changed from a capital AT&T to a lowercase ATT, right? But from a consumer perspective, we don't really feel much of a difference. I hope the topic we're discussing today, as we are called the Global Disruptive Innovation Summit, we can talk really about the disruptions we can bring to the table. And that's why I want to introduce you to DeepBrain chain. I recently joined the company. I was the global AI lead for my Idea Group, the second largest consumer electronics company in the world. We did a lot of AI projects there. Before that, I found my own consulting company doing AI for 4 years for Fortune clients. We have done a lot of AI projects. And meanwhile, since 6 years ago, I have been managing a VC fund specialized in AI company investment. The joke is, after all these years, I kind of invest myself into this company, DeepBrain chain, because I strongly believe the business model really will really bring disruption to the AI world. The topic I'm discussing today is really DeepBrain chain sitting at the golden cross of two megatrends, AI and the blockchain. That's the company we're trying to do. And no need to say AI has a huge, huge market potential for the next 20 years. It's going to be pervasive in our life. But the DeepBrain chain is going to introduce the blockchain dimension into this. Essentially, our vision is to enable companies and users to share the three components securely on blockchain. Basically, it's the computing power. People referring that a lot as the GPU computing power today for deep learning, for example. And then the AI models, and then the last one is the data, as Professor Zhang also mentioned about. We hope we can bring all these three essential components, we can share them securely on the blockchain. And by doing that, we hope to reduce the cost significantly and also enable companies to build up AI applications and product in a much, much quicker fashion other than today. So as a person who has been doing a lot of AI projects, personally I have done about 100 AI projects and products. This is real-life projects for clients or for companies, not about R&D, self-study kind of projects. The cycle of AI development is very long. It typically starts with this process. You go buy an expensive server, right? GPU server. If you want to do big applications, you want to buy or build a big cluster. Like this is about 64 or 128 GPUs. Very, very expensive. It costs millions of dollars. And you need to have a team who know how to build it, how to install the software. And then if you have your team to build up the models, collect the data, if you're lucky you have the data, cleanse the data, label the data, annotation, build up data sets, and after all those work, you can start training, right? And then you find out the issues, you iterate. It's a very, very lengthy and tedious process. We require large investment of hardware, software, and resources. If you're lucky, after a few months, you can get a very good model developed per your data set and per your business problem, and then hopefully that model can be used for your real-world application or product. If it's not, in most of the cases, go to the shelf, right? I think most companies probably experience this. We develop an AI model after so much investment, and then it goes with some research paper or patent or just sitting on the shelf, but never hit the product line, never generate revenue. So that's actually most of the cases we're seeing today. And most of companies out of FAN or BAT companies, at least from my own experience, I work for a Fortune 380 kind of company. And my management team always come to me, why you guys require so much investment all the time, right? Why you guys need to invest in all these data purchases and the platform and all those things. So it's a very, very expensive process. So from a DeepBrain chain perspective, we hope can connect three things. We all know in the .com days 20 years ago, internet brought up the liberation of productivity. And we believe the blockchain really bring us the value system, really connect us to have different value exchanges. And the AI is the brain of almost everything going forward. And we hope to connect these three things together to really enable using the blockchain as a foundation platform, and then use AI to drive the thinking, decision, comprehension, sensing, all those decisions, and then we can share that on the distributed, decentralized system over the internet. So that we believe is a multiplication effect can bring huge productivity gain. So like we mentioned, we're going to connect computing power, AI models, and the data on the DBC blockchain, and this implies data marketplace, model marketplace, but also more importantly, I think we are uniquely positioned as the only company in the marketplace right now. We're the only company actually will offering a comprehensive solution for AI training, because we are going to sell AI mining workstations. The pre-sale will start a little bit later this month. We're going to sell the mining stations. These mining stations not only will enable people to do mining, like the Bitcoin mining, but also it is the same workstation to enable people to do deep learning training, because they are CPU equipped. And we have a very, very good economic model we're going to announce later this week in Las Vegas in the AI conference. Basically, company purchasing our AI mining machine will get their investment returned by mining in less than 9 months. So in other words, if I'm in an AI company, I spend about $30,000 or $40,000 to buy an AI workstation with 8 GPUs. I basically bought them, and then they are sitting on my depreciation list, right? In the DBC system, by hooking it up on the DBC and by mining the DBC, in 9 months, you get all those money returned, right? And then you can, through the mining the coins, based on the current price of DBC, not even considering DBC has, the token has huge potential to appreciate. So with that, we believe we can quickly have thousands, if not tens of thousands, GPU AI workstations established from now to first half of 2019. And if we have 10,000 AI workstations, each of them have 4 GPUs or 8 GPUs, as you can imagine, very quickly will become the largest GPU computing power in the world, right? If we have like 40,000, 50,000 GPUs, those will be huge resources even AWS or other cloud providers will not be able to have. But we will be able to provide that through the token economy. And those stations will offer us good foundation to allow our customers to utilize those computing power in a very, very cost-effective way. Our estimate is about 70% cheaper than if you either buy them or rent them from AWS or other cloud providers today. So that's our immediate goal, is to become the largest, one of the largest GPU computing power within the next 1 year. And second is, we are going to enable all these mining machines through like a one-click turnkey software configuration. So you will be able to have software, the common popular AI toolkits installed very quickly, so your team don't have to go through all the tedious process. If you ever have done those softwares, you know there are so many open source packages you have to work through and configure. You never know what is optimized unless you have a very, very good and experienced team. So we'll enable that. We'll keep updating the software, and also we'll actually optimize the software to make the training the most efficient as we can. And we also will step by step enable the distributed AI training across the different workstations and nodes as well. And with that computing power in place, and we're going to have models and data as well, we hope to attract all the AI companies to be our partners, join the DBC ecosystem, and also to offer the customers the best services as we can. So if you look at the picture, the previous page is almost like an arrow, right? The point of the arrow is the applications, because at the end of the day, we want to build the DBC ecosystem is really enable the applications to help our customers to build real-world applications, solutions, and product which bring business value. right? Our goal is not to do academic only, to say we build an ecosystem on blockchain and we issue tokens and we're done with it. We want to enable our customers to really utilize the system to build applications faster and cheaper. So with the application side, we are going to incubate 3 lines of applications this year to use those applications to validate our platform requirements, to make sure the platform really works, and also to use that to attract customers and offer customers value. And those 3 lines of applications, including data analytics, which we believe there are a lot of usage, especially machine learning, models, feature engineering, all those kind of things, so the large audience. And the other one is NLP, both from a voice and a text mining perspective. Those has large usage. And another line of application, we kind of keep it secret right now. We're going to announce later this year. But we also believe that will bring a large audience and huge value to our customers. And with that, we are not trying to build all the applications on our ecosystem. We are trying to really bring this as a showcase example, and we can attract other companies and the contributors to really build more applications on our system. So hopefully with those ecosystem, we can lower the computing power cost by 70% and increase the time to market of building AI applications from months today, right? Basically reduce from months to days. So we believe by sharing and by enabling, leveraging all the idle resources, we can make that happen. That's why we were saying we want to be the Uber of the AI computing, right? Anytime we want to, we can enable sharing, we can enable leveraging, the cost will go down and efficiency will go up, right? If you're an AI company, like we used to do, if you have AI computing powers and workstations or cluster, you know what will happen is, what happens often is actually when you have many, many projects, you don't have enough computing power. When you don't have many projects going on, your workstation is just sitting there idle and costing electric power, right? Bills for you. So you can contribute that to the DBC system. So when it's idle, you can, get tokens reward by using this in the system and contributing this to other people to use, right? And mining. But if you have need, you don't have to build and spend time to build your new system. You can just purely just leveraging and rent the extra system from the DBC ecosystem. So from a blockchain perspective, blockchain is the fundamental foundation of the DBC system. We actually did a lot of innovations of blockchain, and our blockchain team is actually very strong. Most of the people coming from BAT and large distribution background. So just to highlight a few, so we are designing this with a high scalability, basically 1 million TPS and 1 billion network nodes. We're doing vertical and horizontal sharding. There are quite some innovations we're doing. Security, because the overflow problem recently in the last week, there must be a lot of concerns. We are doing both passive and active security management. We're actually going to, since we are an AI company, we're going to use AI to proactively monitor the anomalies on the network and really detect issues. From a network architecture side, we actually have a hybrid network architecture, both like Bitcoin, the decentralized architecture, but we also have the fast lane to enable fast communication. The consensus part is really the part we actually did a lot of innovation. Actually, we're in the process of rebranding this because our consensus model for the statement here is actually really an understatement. We are doing DPoS, just like EOS. Basically, people have large ownership of the tokens will have a bigger say of the consensus. But also, meanwhile, we're also doing proof of importance and the proof of resources. So basically, the people can have regular, frequent participation, contributing computing power, and also storage and models will have bigger say as well. But the importance of this, the proof of importance for us is randomly selected. So we randomly select on the runtime those nodes have active participation, and then combining with the DPoS nodes, so we collectively make the decision. Because of the random selection, the security is much, much strong because nobody knows those randomly selected nodes other than us. So from an AI perspective, our focus on 3 things: hardware, software platform, and applications. So from the hardware side, in later this month, we're going to start a pre-sale of our AI mining machines. So there's basically 3 ranges. The middle range is 2 GPU, 4 GPUs, smaller machines. The large range, this is 4 GPUs and 8 GPUs. And most of the AI companies' needs, I'm not talking about super large needs like autonomous driving, can be addressed by the 8 GPU AI workstations. And then the super large ones we are going to build ourselves and also work with some of our partners on this kind of supercomputer clusters with like 16, 32, 64, and 128 GPU clusters. So all this will be professionally built and hosted. So the mining machine, like I mentioned earlier, our economic model is if you buy these machines, within 9 months, you will get full reinvestment return, right, based on the current price. Of course, the price goes up, just like Bitcoins. Our GPU number will increase, right? So, but the returns still stay the same. From a software perspective, we are working on 2 tracks. One is our end vision to have distributed deep learning training across network nodes. That's a cutting edge area in the research. I think a lot of people are working on it. We have a lot of good ideas how to enable that to happen. And then meanwhile, our short-term goal is to enable have the best and the most efficient, the easiest single node AI training. In other words, if we have thousands of AI workstation nodes on the network, on the DBC network, a person can issue AI training tasks, and then a remote node can respond and offer the training, right? And have secure model and secure data delivered, and utilize the computing power on the other side, and give you the training. And so in that way, you don't have to own any machine to do AI projects. From an application perspective, I mentioned earlier, we're going to incubate 3 lines, and this again to showcase, to validate our platform. And meanwhile, we are working with a lot of the AI companies to partner, get into the DBC system. We actually got huge interest from a lot of the leading AI companies want to get into DBC system because they can attract a lot of the customers, especially medium and smaller customers on our system. Just in this case, I think they see the opportunity instead of doing sales with companies earning dollars, they can come to our ecosystem and quickly scale and earning tokens, which is essentially the same income. Not to mention our token, we think we have a lot of appreciation potential. So in summary, we are an AI plus a blockchain company, and our fundamental blockchain is a public chain. It's also an AI foundation chain. We definitely work very hard to try to position our AI chain to enable other AI companies to be successful, and also enable all the companies with AI needs to be successful. We kind of have our eyes on the stars for the distributed AI training, and meanwhile, we have our feet on the ground for efficient, easy, single node and kind of multiple nodes collaboration, distributed computing training. And we also want to incubate the apps, and our mining machine will be pre-sale. That will be a huge event and milestone for us. And we're establishing a Silicon Valley research center, AI plus blockchain. The company just announced last week in South Korea, we're actually going to invest $100 million for the next 3 years in Silicon Valley for this research center, because companies really value a lot in the technology and cutting edge research, and also partnership with the AI and the blockchain community in the Silicon Valley, both technology and also investment. So we are very much open to talent joining us in Silicon Valley, and also we are open to have partners and the investment communities talking with us on the opportunity. We personally believe we have huge up potential. I think by this morning, we are around by the circulation market cap, we are around 110, 105-ish, but we believe we have huge potential, and we believe we have the most comprehensive vision in the AI plus blockchain area, and we have, we enable the whole system to have you to come to only us, right? You can get everything done, right? It's a one-stop shop. Our main chain will be up online in Q4 timeframe, so that's in the white paper, and we're working very hard on it, and we're very confident that we'll hit that milestone. And the last and least, we actually are working with some AI startup companies to issue tokens on our chain. So that's why we're saying we are AI foundation chain, because a lot of the AI startups, the good startups, it's very hard for them to raise capital, and they take a long time, and also they will, once you raise capital, there will be dilution. The beauty of tokens is once you raise the tokens, you don't really have much dilution, and the cycle can be very quick. And we see great opportunities there. And since my investment fund for the last 6 years, we have been handpicking AI companies from every year we look at about 500 companies. We pick about 8 or 9 companies to invest. So those companies naturally become very, very good candidates for us to issue tokens on DBC ecosystem, and eventually they will run on the DBC system. So from those angles, I think DBC, personally, I believe DBC has huge potential, both from a technology perspective, an application perspective, and also ecosystem perspective. So we definitely hope to work with the Silicon Valley community together for any partnership and collaboration. Thank you very much.